Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Julia, and I'm very happy that you are here today. Thank you for taking some time to learn English with me. In today's episode, we are going to talk about something very important for every English learner. Our topic is 7 daily habits for fluent English. Many people want to speak English fluently. They study grammar. They memorize vocabulary. They watch many videos, but sometimes they still feel that their English is not improving. Why does this happen? Often the problem is not intelligence, and it is not talent. The real problem is daily habits. Learning a language is not something you do once a week. It is something you should practice a little every single day. Small daily actions can create big progress over time. Think about it like exercise. If you go to the gym one time for 5 hours, it will not help you very much. But if you exercise a little every day, your body becomes stronger and healthier. English works in the same way. If you practice English for a short time every day, your listening will improve, your vocabulary will grow, and your speaking will become more natural. In this episode, I will share 7 simple daily habits that can help you become more fluent in English. These habits are easy to follow, even if you are busy. You do not need many hours. You just need consistency and the right practice. So if you are ready to improve your English step by step, stay with me. Let's begin. Now let's talk about something very important. Why are daily habits the secret to becoming fluent in English? Many English learners believe that fluency comes from studying a lot of grammar or memorizing many difficult words. Of course, grammar and vocabulary are important, but they are not the most important thing. The real secret to fluency is daily practice. Language is a skill, just like learning to drive a car, playing a musical instrument, or learning a sport. You cannot become good at these things by practicing only once in a while. You improve when you practice a little bit every day. Your brain learns languages through repetition. This means your brain needs to see, hear, and use English again and again. When you practice daily, English slowly becomes natural for you. But when learners practice only sometimes, the brain forgets what it learned before. Then each time they study, they feel like they are starting again from the beginning. That is why daily habits are so powerful. The good news is that you do not need many hours every day. Even 10 to 20 minutes of daily English practice can make a big difference. Small actions done every day can create big improvement over time. For example, listening to English for a few minutes, learning a few new words, speaking a little, or reading something simple. These small habits train your brain to think in English. Over time, these habits become part of your daily life. And when English becomes part of your daily life, fluency starts to grow naturally. So remember this simple idea. Fluency is not built in one day. It is built every day. Now that we understand why daily habits are so important, let's start with the first habit that can help you become fluent in English. Let's talk about habit number 1. Let's start with the first daily habit for fluent English. Habit number 1 is listen to English every day. Listening is one of the most powerful ways to improve your English. Before we speak a language well, we need to hear it many times. Our brain learns the sounds, the rhythm, and the natural way people speak. Think about how children learn their first language. They listen to people around them every day. For many months, they mostly listen. Slowly, their brain understands the language, and then they start speaking. English learning works in a similar way. When you listen to English regularly, your brain becomes familiar with the language. You begin to understand common words, common expressions, and natural pronunciation. The good news is that listening practice is very easy to add to your daily life. You can listen to English podcasts, YouTube videos, short stories, interviews, or conversations. Choose content that is simple and interesting for you. You can also listen while doing other activities. For example, you can listen while walking, cooking, traveling, or relaxing at home. Even 10 or 15 minutes of listening every day can help your brain get used to English. At the beginning, you may not understand everything, and that is completely okay. The goal is not to understand every word. The goal is to train your ears and become comfortable with the sound of English. The more you listen, the easier English will become. So remember this simple habit. Listen to English every single day. Now let's move to the second habit that can help you speak English more fluently. Now let's move to habit number 2. Speak English out loud every day. Many English learners spend a lot of time listening and reading, but they do not practice speaking enough. Because of this, they understand English, but when they try to speak, they feel nervous or stuck. Speaking is a skill, and like any skill, it improves with practice. The good news is that you do not always need a partner to practice speaking. You can practice speaking by yourself. One simple way is to repeat sentences that you hear in podcasts or videos. Listen to a short sentence, pause the audio, and repeat it out loud. This helps you practice pronunciation and rhythm. Another helpful exercise is to talk about your day in English. For example, you can say things like, "Today I woke up early. I am drinking coffee. Now I am listening to an English podcast." These sentences may sound simple, but they are very powerful. They train your brain to form sentences quickly. You can also describe things around you. Look at your room and say what you see. For example, there is a table. My phone is on the table. I see a window next to the chair. When you speak out loud, your mouth becomes more comfortable with English sounds. Your brain and your mouth begin to work together. At first, it may feel strange or uncomfortable, but that is normal. The more you speak, the more confident you will become. So remember this habit. Do not only study English, speak it. Even 5 minutes of speaking practice every day can slowly build your fluency. Now let's move to habit number 3, which is very important for expressing your ideas in English. Now let's talk about habit number 3. Learn and use new words every day. Vocabulary is one of the most important parts of learning a language. Words are the tools we use to express our ideas, feelings, and thoughts. The more words you know, the easier it becomes to speak and understand English. But here is something important to remember. You do not need to learn hundreds of words in one day. That can feel difficult and stressful. A better and smarter way is to learn a small number of words every day. For example, you can learn 5 or 10 new words daily. This is simple and realistic. Over time, these small steps create big progress. If you learn just 5 words every day, you can learn more than 1,000 words in a year. But learning words is only the first step. The most important thing is to use the new words. When you learn a new word, try to make a sentence with it. For example, if the new word is improve, you can say, I want to improve my English. If the word is practice, you can say, I practice English every day. Making sentences helps your brain remember the word better. It also helps you learn how the word is used in real communication. Another helpful idea is to keep a small vocabulary notebook. Write down new words and simple example sentences. Then review them later during the week. Remember, vocabulary grows slowly but steadily. When you learn and use new words every day, your ability to speak English becomes stronger and clearer, so make this a daily habit. Learn a few new words and try to use them in sentences. Now let's move to habit number 4, which can change the way your brain uses English. Now let's move to habit number 4, think in English. Many English learners have the same problem. When they want to speak English, they first think in their native language, then they try to translate their thoughts into English. This process takes time, and it often makes speaking slow and difficult. If you want to become more fluent, it is very helpful to train your mind to think directly in English. At the beginning, this may feel challenging, but the good news is that you can start with very simple thoughts. For example, when you wake up in the morning, you can think simple sentences like, Today is a new day. I need to get ready for work or school. I will practice English today. During the day, you can also describe what you are doing. For example, I am walking to the store. I am making lunch. I am listening to a podcast. This simple habit helps your brain become more comfortable with English. Slowly, your mind will start creating English sentences more naturally. Another useful exercise is to talk to yourself in English in your mind. You can imagine conversations, ask yourself questions, and answer them in English. For example, what should I do today? I think I should study English and read a short article. These small mental conversations train your brain to use English without translation. Over time, thinking in English becomes easier and faster, and when your brain begins to think in English, speaking English becomes much more natural. So try to practice this habit every day. Think in English whenever you can. Now let's continue with habit number 5, which can help you improve both your vocabulary and your understanding of English. Now let's talk about habit number 5. Read something in English every day. Reading is a very helpful habit for improving your English. When you read, you see how words are used in sentences. You also learn new vocabulary, grammar patterns, and different ways to express ideas. The good news is that reading practice does not have to be difficult. You do not need to read long or complicated books. The best way is to start with simple and interesting materials. For example, you can read short stories, simple articles, English learning websites, or even subtitles from videos. Choose something that you enjoy because when the topic is interesting, reading becomes easier and more fun. Try to read for 10 or 15 minutes every day. This small habit can slowly improve your understanding of English. When you read, you may see some new words. Do not worry if you do not understand every word. Try to understand the general meaning of the sentence or the paragraph. If you find an important new word, you can write it down in your vocabulary notebook and try to use it later in a sentence. Reading regularly helps your brain become familiar with natural English sentence structures. Over time, this will make it easier for you to speak and write clearly. So remember this habit. Read a little English every day. Now let's move to habit number 6, which can help you organize your thoughts and improve your English even more. Now let's talk about habit number 6. Write a few sentences in English every day. Writing is a powerful way to improve your English. When you write, you practice organizing your thoughts and turning your ideas into clear sentences. Writing also helps you remember new vocabulary and grammar. The good news is that writing practice does not need to be long or difficult. You can start by writing just 3 to 5 simple sentences every day. One easy way to do this is to keep a small English diary or journal. At the end of the day, write a few sentences about your day. For example, you can write something like this. Today I studied English for 20 minutes. I listened to a podcast while walking. I learned 5 new words today. These sentences are simple, but they are very helpful for building your writing and thinking skills. Another idea is to write about your plans or goals. For example, tomorrow I will practice speaking English. I want to improve my vocabulary. When you write regularly, you start noticing how sentences are formed. Your brain becomes more comfortable with English structure and expression. Do not worry about making mistakes. Mistakes are a normal and important part of learning. The most important thing is to practice writing a little every day. So remember this habit. Write a few sentences in English daily. Now let's move to habit number 7, which is one of the most important habits for becoming fluent in English. Now let's talk about the final habit, and this may be the most important one. Habit number 7 is be consistent and stay patient. Learning English is a journey. It does not happen in one day, 1 week, or even 1 month. Becoming fluent takes time, practice, and patience. Sometimes learners feel excited in the beginning. They study a lot for a few days, but then they stop practicing. When this happens, progress becomes very slow. That is why consistency is so important. It is better to practice English a little every day than to study for many hours only once in a while. Small daily practice helps your brain remember and improve step by step. Even if you practice for 15 or 20 minutes each day, you are moving forward. Every small effort is helping you become better. Another important thing is to be patient with yourself. Sometimes you may feel that your English is not improving fast enough, but remember, language learning is a gradual process. You will make mistakes, and that is completely normal. In fact, mistakes are part of learning. Every mistake teaches you something new. Instead of focusing on perfection, focus on progress. Celebrate the small victories. Maybe today you understand a new word. Maybe tomorrow you speak a little more confidently. These small improvements are signs that you are growing. So always remember this final habit. Practice consistently and be patient with your progress. And if you follow these 7 habits every day, your English will slowly become stronger and more fluent. Now that we have talked about all 7 habits, let's see how you can use them in a simple daily routine. You do not need to spend many hours. Even 30 to 40 minutes a day can be enough if you practice smartly. Here's one example. Listen to English 10 minutes while walking, cooking, or relaxing. Learn new words 5 minutes. Write them down and make simple sentences. Speak out loud 5 minutes. Repeat sentences or talk about your day. Think in English a few minutes throughout the day. Describe what you see or what you do in English in your mind. Read English 10 minutes. Read a short article, story, or subtitles. Write sentences 5 minutes. Write about your day, plans, or new words. If you follow this routine every day, you will practice all important skills: listening, speaking, reading, writing, vocabulary, and thinking in English. Remember, the key is small actions every day. Consistency is more important than studying a lot in one day. By doing this, your English will improve step by step, and you will become more confident and fluent. Next, we can go to the motivation and encouragement section to inspire learners to start today. Now let's take a moment for some motivation and encouragement. Learning English can feel difficult at times, and it is normal to make mistakes. Every learner goes through this. The important thing is not to give up. Remember, fluency is not about being perfect. It is about making progress every day. Even small steps count. Every new word you learn, every sentence you speak, every time you think in English, it all adds up. Believe in yourself. Trust the process. Your brain is learning and improving every time you practice. Celebrate your small wins because they are signs of growth. If you stay consistent, practice your habits daily, and stay patient, your English will improve naturally. You can do this. You just need to start today and keep going. Now let's finish with a short summary and call to action so you remember all the 7 habits. Let's quickly review the 7 daily habits for fluent English. 1. Listen to English every day, train your ears, and get used to natural English. 2. Speak English out loud, practice speaking, even if it's just by yourself. 3. Learn and use new words daily, small steps every day. Build strong vocabulary. 4. Think in English, train your mind to create sentences naturally. 5. Read something in English, improve understanding, and see how English is used. 6. Write a few sentences daily, organize your thoughts, and remember new words. 7. Be consistent and stay patient. Fluency comes with small daily actions over time. These habits are simple, but if you do them every day, your English will improve step by step. So here is your call to action. Start today. Pick one habit or try all 7 and practice for a few minutes every day. Keep going, stay patient, and celebrate your progress. Thank you so much for listening today. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe to our Easy English Talk podcast for more tips, lessons, and daily habits to improve your English. Remember, fluency is built every single day, and today is the best day to start.